Today, we're diving into the top 6 most valuable state quarter dollar coins. Coins that aren't just pocket change, but pieces of American history. From minting errors to low production runs, these quarters have stories to tell and serious value to offer. First up, the 2015 Bombay Hook Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series introduced by the United States Mint in 2010 to honor national parks and historic sites across all U.S. states and territories. Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge, located in Delaware, was chosen as the theme for the 4th coin released in 2015 and the 29th overall in the series. This coin captures both natural beauty and American conservation history, making it a favorite among collectors and nature enthusiasts alike. The design on the reverse of the Bombay Hook Quarter was created by artist Joel Iskowitz and engraved by Phoebe Hemphill. It features a beautifully detailed scene from the wildlife refuge, showcasing a great blue heron in the foreground and a great egret standing in shallow water behind it. These birds are 2 of the many species that inhabit the 16,000-acre tidal salt marsh of Bombay Hook. The scene captures the essence of Delaware's coastal wetland habitat, and the mirror-like water surface reflects the birds and trees, adding to the coin's visual appeal. Surrounding the image are the inscriptions Bombay Hook, Delaware, 2015, and E pluribus unum. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932 and used throughout the quarter series. Bombay Hook itself is one of the oldest national wildlife refuges in the United States. Established in 1937, it plays a crucial role in preserving habitats for migratory birds along the Atlantic Flyway. The refuge provides safe resting, feeding, and breeding grounds for hundreds of species. The U.S. Mint's choice to feature this site on a quarter reflects the growing public appreciation for America's protected natural spaces and the efforts to preserve them for future generations. The 2015 Bombay Hook Quarters were produced at 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia and Denver Mint struck the coins for general circulation, while the San Francisco Mint struck them as part of special collector sets. Mintage numbers for circulation coins were approximately 223.2 million from Philadelphia and 223.8 million from Denver, making this a relatively high mintage issue compared to some other quarters in the series. The San Francisco Mint, however, produced a much smaller number, roughly 1.1 million coins intended for numismatic sets only, which makes the S-Mint mark versions more desirable among collectors. Although most Bombay Hook quarters in circulation are worth face value, there are several factors that can increase their value. Coins in uncirculated or mint state, MS condition, especially those graded MS 65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for a premium. As of recent market trends, an MS 65 Bombay Hook quarter typically sells for around $3 to $5, while MS 67 examples can fetch $20 or more depending on demand and eye appeal. An MS 68 example from the Philadelphia or Denver Mint could bring in significantly more, often between $75 and $150, given their relative scarcity at that high grade. Next up, the 2007 Idaho State Quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999 and ran until 2008. As the 43rd coin released in this historic series, the Idaho Quarter was officially issued on June 4, 2007, representing the state that joined the Union in 1890. Like the other coins in the series, the Idaho Quarter was struck for a limited time, giving it special appeal for collectors who value both its artistic design and state heritage. The reverse of the Idaho Quarter features a beautifully detailed image of a peregrine falcon in flight, with its wings stretched wide and its gaze turned downward as if scanning the land below. This design choice honors the fastest animal on Earth, the peregrine falcon, a bird that once faced the threat of extinction but has made an incredible comeback, especially in Idaho, where conservation efforts played a key role in its recovery. The coin's design was created by U.S. mint artist Don Everhart and includes the state motto Esto Perpetua, which is Latin for "Let it be perpetual," reflecting Idaho's enduring natural beauty and the resilience of its wildlife. In addition to the falcon, the outline of the state of Idaho appears in the background, anchoring the design with a geographic identity. The inscriptions on the reverse include Idaho, 1890, the year the state joined the Union, 2007, year of issue, and E pluribus unum, which appears on all state quarters. The obverse, as with every quarter in the 50-state series, features the classic portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan and slightly modified for the series to accommodate additional design elements. The Idaho quarter was minted at all 3 U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Circulation strikes were produced in high numbers, with the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, striking approximately 294.8 million coins, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D, producing about 286.8 million. These high mintage figures mean that most Idaho quarters found in circulation today are only worth face value unless they are in exceptional condition. The San Francisco Mint, however, produced special proof versions of the Idaho quarter, both in standard copper-nickel clad and in 90% silver. These proof coins were never intended for circulation and were sold in collector sets. The clad proof version typically carries a value of about $3 to $5 in pristine condition, while the silver proof version, due to its precious metal content, is usually valued between $8 and $15 depending on silver market prices and condition. As for uncirculated or mint state examples of the Idaho quarter, values can vary based on grade. Coins graded MS-65 by professional services like PCGS or NGC may be worth between $3 and $7, while those graded MS-67 or higher are more desirable and can fetch between $15 and $50, depending on the buyer and overall demand. Extremely high grade. Examples, such as MS-68, are significantly rarer and have been known to sell for over $100, especially if they are certified and have strong eye appeal with full luster and no visible contact marks. There are no major confirmed mint errors, or varieties widely associated with the Idaho state quarter, unlike some of the earlier state quarters like the Wisconsin Extra Leaf or the Delaware Spitting Horse. However, collectors still examine large quantities of these coins for anomalies such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubled dies. Any Idaho quarter with a noticeable and verifiable error could command a premium, depending on its uniqueness and condition. The 2010 Yosemite National Park quarter is the third release in the U.S. Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters program. This series, which began in 2010, celebrates national parks and sites in each of the 50 states, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. territories. The Yosemite Quarter honors one of the most iconic and breathtaking landscapes in the United States, Yosemite National Park in California. Yosemite was established as a national park on October 1, 1890, and it's famed for its towering granite cliffs, ancient sequoia trees, and stunning waterfalls. The park draws millions of visitors each year and has been central to the American conservation movement, thanks in part to naturalist John Muir, who campaigned for its preservation. The reverse of the Yosemite Quarter captures one of the most recognizable natural landmarks in the park. El Capitan, a massive granite monolith that rises about 3,000 feet above the valley floor. The design, created by U.S. Mint Artistic Infusion Program artist Joseph Mena, features a detailed view of El Capitan framed by pine trees and the Merced River in the foreground. It beautifully represents Yosemite's rugged beauty and serene landscape. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions, Yosemite, California, 2010, and the national motto, E pluribus unum. The obverse of the coin, consistent throughout the America the Beautiful series, features a restored version of John Flanagan's 1932 portrait of George Washington. It includes the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. This design was modified to appear more like the original than the state quarters versions and is bolder in detail. The Yosemite quarter was minted in Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Here's the mintage breakdown. Philadelphia. Mint, P, 34.8 million coins. Denver Mint, D, 34.8 million coins. San Francisco Mint, S. These are special proof coins, including both clad proof and 90% silver proof versions made for collectors. Clad proof coins had a mintage of about 1.4 million, while the silver proof coins had a slightly lower mintage. In terms of value, Yosemite quarters from circulation, either P or D mint marks, typically carry face value of 25 cents unless in mint state condition. However, coins that are uncirculated and graded MS-65 or better by third-party services like PCGS or NGC can command $2 to $10, with higher grades such as MS-67 or MS-68 bringing in $30 to $100 plus, especially if they exhibit strong luster and no marks. The clad-proof Yosemite quarters from the San Francisco Mint, which were not intended for circulation, are worth around $2 to $5 depending on condition. The 90% silver-proof versions, on the other hand, typically fetch $12 to $20 depending on silver market prices and coin grade. These are popular among collectors building America the Beautiful quarter sets in silver. As for error varieties, there are no major publicized or highly valuable errors associated with the Yosemite quarter, though some minor errors like die cracks, die chips, or off-center strikes occasionally appear and may fetch modest premiums among error collectors. Always check with a coin grading service or an expert before attributing value to a suspected error. Next up, the 2003 Alabama State Quarter holds a special place in U.S. coinage history, not only because it represents the 22nd state to join the Union, but also because it was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical woman. Issued as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, the Alabama Quarter was released into circulation on March 17, 2003, becoming the 22nd coin released in the series, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This coin honors Helen Keller, one of Alabama's most celebrated figures, whose life and accomplishments continue to inspire people around the world. Born in Tuscumbia, Alabama in 1880, Keller became deaf and blind at a young age due to an illness. Through the help of her devoted teacher Anne Sullivan, she learned to read, write, and speak, eventually becoming an internationally known author, political activist, and advocate for the disabled. Her appearance on the Alabama Quarter marked a groundbreaking moment in numismatic history, as she became the first person with a disability, and the first woman, to be featured individually on a circulating U.S. coin. The reverse design of the Alabama Quarter was created by artist Norman E. Nemeth and centers around a portrait of Helen Keller seated and reading a book in Braille, symbolizing her education and achievements. Above the image is her name inscribed in Braille, another numismatic first. Flanking her are longleaf pine branches and magnolia blossoms, representing the state tree and flower of Alabama, respectively. Below her image is the phrase, "Spirit of Courage," capturing the resilience and determination that defined Keller's life and legacy. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions, Alabama, 1819, the year the state joined the Union, 2003, year of coin issue, and E pluribus unum. The obverse side of the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan for the 1932 quarter and modified slightly for the State Quarters series to allow space for inscriptions. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. The Alabama quarter was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, as well as the San Francisco mint for A. proof coins. The Philadelphia mint, P, produced approximately 225 million Alabama quarters, while the Denver mint, D, struck around 232 million, making them widely available in circulation. The San Francisco mint, S, produced both clad proof and 90% silver proof versions for collectors with significantly lower mintages. The clad proof coins, made of copper nickel, feature a mirrored background and frosted design, while the silver proof coins have added intrinsic value due to their precious metal content. When it comes to value, circulated Alabama quarters from the Philadelphia and Denver mints are generally worth face value, or $0.25, unless they are in exceptionally good condition. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS65 or higher by grading services like PCGS or NGC, are more valuable. A Mint State 65 Alabama quarter typically sells for $2 to $5, depending on the market. Higher grade specimens, such as MS67 or MS68, can fetch significantly higher prices, sometimes ranging from $15 to over $100. Especially for certified coins with excellent luster, no visible contact marks, and sharp detail. The clad-proof Alabama quarters produced in San Francisco are valued between $2 and $5, depending on condition, while the 90% silver-proof versions often sell for $8 to $15 or more, based on current silver prices and collector interest. Coins still in their original proof sets or with professional certification tend to command higher premiums. Although there are no major or widely known errors associated with the Alabama quarter, collectors occasionally find minor anomalies such as die cracks, die chips, or off-center strikes. These are typically worth modest premiums if the errors are visible and dramatic enough to be of interest to error collectors. Next up, the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter is one of the most talked about coins in the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, not only because it highlights the state's agricultural legacy, but also due to the discovery of rare and valuable error varieties that have captured the attention of collectors across the country. Released as the 30th coin in the series, the Wisconsin Quarter officially entered circulation on October 25, 2004, representing the 30th state to join the Union, which it did on May 29, 1848. Wisconsin's design pays tribute to its rich farming, tradition, and dairy industry, which earned the state the nickname America's Dairyland. The reverse of the coin, designed by Alfred Maletsky and sculpted by Norman E. Nemeth, prominently features three symbolic elements. On the left side of the design is the head of a Holstein cow, representing Wisconsin's dominance in dairy production. At the center sits a round of cheese, specifically cheddar, emphasizing the state's world-famous cheese-making heritage. On the right is a partially husked ear of corn, symbolizing the state's role in crop farming and agriculture. Above these elements is the inscription "Forward," Wisconsin's state motto, reflecting progress and ambition. The surrounding text includes Wisconsin, 1848, 2004, and E pluribus unum. The design effectively captures the heart of Wisconsin's economy and culture, its agricultural strength, and the people behind it. The obverse of the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington, originally created by John Flanagan, for the 1932 quarter and adapted for the state quarters. It includes the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. The Wisconsin quarter was produced at both the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints, as well as at the San Francisco S mint for proof coinage. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 226.8 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced about 226.4 million. The San Francisco Mint issued clad-proof and 90% silver-proof versions in significantly lower quantities for collectors. Under normal conditions, circulated Wisconsin quarters from Philadelphia or Denver are worth face value, 25 cents. However, The 2004 Wisconsin quarter became the focus of intense interest when two distinct error varieties were discovered in circulation in early 2005. These varieties, both from the Denver Mint, are now famously known as the extra leaf high and extra leaf low errors. In these error varieties, an extra leaf appears on the left side of the ear of corn in the reverse design. On the extra leaf high variety, the extra leaf points upward toward the corn husk. On the extra leaf low, the additional leaf droops lower toward the wheel of cheese. These extra leaf varieties were the result of die gouges, likely accidental damage or tooling on the die used at the Denver Mint, and they are not found on Philadelphia minted coins or on proof coins. Because these varieties were unexpected and relatively scarce, they quickly gained attention and value among collectors. At the height of their popularity, examples of the extra leaf low and extra leaf high quarters sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on condition and certification. Although prices have stabilized over time, these errors still command substantial premiums on the numismatic market. As of now, a circulated extra leaf low or extra leaf high variety typically sells for $100 to $250, depending on condition. Uncirculated and professionally graded examples, particularly in Mint State 65, MS 65, or higher, can command prices from $300 to over $1,000, especially when slabbed by top grading services like PCGS or NGC. The most pristine examples, such as those graded MS 67, have sold for $2,000 or more at auction. Next up, the 2006 South Dakota State Quarter is the 40th coin released in the U.S. Mint's iconic 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Officially entering circulation on November 6, 2006, the South Dakota Quarter honors the state's cultural heritage, natural beauty, and historical significance, combining both majestic landscapes and patriotic landmarks into a single, elegant design. The reverse of the South Dakota Quarter showcases a powerful composition centered on Mount Rushmore, the world-famous granite sculpture located in the Black Hills. Carved by Gutzon Borglum and completed in 1941, the monument features the faces of 4 U.S. presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, representing the birth, growth, development, and preservation of the United States. The monument is both a symbol of American ideals and a major tourist destination, and its presence on the coin ties directly to South Dakota's identity. But the coin's design doesn't stop there. Above Mount Rushmore soars a pheasant in flight, the official state bird of South Dakota. The ring-necked pheasant is a vibrant and recognizable bird native to the region, representing the state's thriving wildlife and its reputation as a top hunting destination. Flanking the central imagery are heads of wheat, South Dakota's chief agricultural product, symbolizing its vital role in grain production and its deep-rooted farming culture. Designed by artist John Mercanti, the coin's reverse includes the inscriptions South Dakota, 1889, the year the state joined the Union, 2006, year of issue, and the nation's motto, E pluribus unum. The result is a design that weaves together South Dakota's natural heritage, historical pride, and agricultural importance into one cohesive and visually striking coin. The obverse of the South Dakota Quarter follows the standard layout of the State Quarters series, featuring the profile of George Washington as originally designed by John Flanagan. Inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. In terms of mintage, the South Dakota Quarter was struck at 3 U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 245 million quarters, while the Denver Mint struck 265 million, both in standard copper-nickel-clad composition for circulation. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint issued clad-proof and 90% silver-proof versions for collectors. The silver-proof coins contain 90% silver and 10% copper and were sold as part of the 2006 proof coin sets. In the collector market, circulated South Dakota quarters from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint typically hold face value, 25 cents, unless they are in exceptional condition or part of a complete set. Uncirculated coins graded MS-65 can fetch between $1 to $4 depending on demand and quality. Higher grade specimens, such as MS-67 or MS-68, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC, can command $15 to $100 or more based on luster, strike sharpness, and overall eye appeal. The 1999 New Jersey State Quarter is one of the first coins released in the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It was officially released on May 17, 1999, and it became the third quarter in the series following Delaware and Pennsylvania. What makes this quarter historically significant is not just its place in the sequence, but the powerful image it carries and the early excitement it generated among collectors. The design on the reverse of the New Jersey quarter features one of the most iconic scenes from American history, General George Washington crossing the Delaware River. This moment, immortalized in the famous 1851 painting by Emanuel Leutze, symbolizes courage, strategy, and a turning point in the American Revolutionary War. The coin depicts Washington in a boat, leading Continental Army troops through icy waters on the night of December 25, 1776. The design captures a moment of determination and resilience, and the inscription, "Crossroads of the Revolution," honors New Jersey's central role during that time. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. All state quarters use this obverse design, but it was slightly modified to fit the newer layout of the state series. The year of minting, the word liberty, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," are also included on this side of the coin. In terms of mintage, over 662 million New Jersey state quarters were struck in 1999 across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Specifically, the Philadelphia Mint produced about 363 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 299 million. Because of these high numbers, most New Jersey state quarters are very common in circulated condition and are only worth face value, 25 cents. However, some coins are more valuable, particularly those in uncirculated or high-grade mint state condition. Collectors often seek out coins graded MS-65 or higher, and in those grades, the 1999 New Jersey quarter can sell for $2 to $5. Coins in near-perfect condition, graded MS-67 or higher, can reach prices between $20 and $80 depending on the quality and the current demand in the market. Even more valuable are coins with errors or unique characteristics. For example, some New Jersey quarters were mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet or show striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks. These error coins are rare and can fetch anywhere from $100 to several $100 depending on the nature and severity of the mistake. One known error variety includes quarters struck with a partial collar, giving the coin a distorted rim. These can bring premiums from collectors who specialize in mint mistakes. Another point of interest is proof versions of the coin. These were made specifically for collectors and were struck using special dies to produce sharp detail and a mirror-like finish. The 1999 New Jersey Proof Quarter was minted in both clad and silver versions at the San Francisco Mint. The clad proof version is generally worth between $1 and $3, while the silver proof, containing 90% silver, can sell for $8 to $15, depending on its condition and silver value at the time. Next up, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter is one of the earliest coins released in the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It was the fifth coin in the series and was officially released on October 12, 1999. Like the others in this special series, the Connecticut Quarter celebrates the unique history and heritage of its state, and it has become a popular piece among both collectors and those new to numismatics. The reverse of the Connecticut Quarter features one of the most famous natural landmarks in the state, the Charter Oak. This massive tree was not only a symbol of strength and endurance, but also played a significant role in early American history. According to legend, in 1687, Connecticut's Royal Charter of 1662 was hidden inside the hollow of the charter oak tree to prevent it from being confiscated by the British governor. This act of defiance and preservation of local governance is a powerful symbol of American independence, and that story is forever captured on this quarter. The design was created by sculptor T. James Farrell and shows the majestic tree in fine detail with the inscription, "The Charter Oak," below it. Above, the word Connecticut appears, along with the state's founding year, 1788. The coin also bears the standard inscriptions, E Pluribus Unum, and the year of issue, 1999. On the obverse side, like all quarters in the series, is the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. It includes the words, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the coin's denomination, $quarter. This familiar image was slightly modified to fit the unique, reverse designs of the State Quarters series. When it comes to production, the Connecticut quarter had a very high mintage. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 684 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 414 million. Because of these massive numbers, the 1999 Connecticut quarter is considered common in circulated condition and is typically worth only its face value of 25 cents. However, collectors do look for high-grade examples. Coins that have never been used in circulation and are in mint state condition, graded MS-65 or higher, can be worth $1 to $5. Coins in near-perfect grades like MS-67 or MS-68 can sell for $15 to $50 or more, especially if they are certified by trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC. There are also special collector versions of the Connecticut quarter. These include the 1999 S-proof coins, which were made at the San Francisco Mint using specially polished dies and planchets. These coins have a mirror-like finish and were never released for circulation. The standard-clad proof version is usually worth between $2 and $5, while the 90% silver-proof version can be worth $10 to $15, depending on silver prices and market demand. Though the Connecticut State Quarter does not have as many major error varieties as some other states, collectors have reported finding minor die chips, die cracks, and off-center strikes. These types of errors are less common but can still fetch a premium depending on the severity and visual appeal. A coin with a noticeable minting mistake can be worth $20 to $100 or more. Next up, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter holds a special place in the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It was the fourth coin released in the series and officially entered circulation on July 19, 1999. Like every quarter in this landmark program, the Georgia State Quarter celebrates the rich history, culture, and identity of the state it represents. What makes the Georgia quarter stand out is its elegant and symbolic design that tells a deeper story about Georgia's place in American history. The reverse of the Georgia quarter features the state's official fruit, the peach, nestled in the center of the design. The peach is a symbol of Georgia's agricultural history and is so strongly associated with the state that Georgia is often nicknamed the Peach State. Behind the peach is an outline of the state itself, adding a sense of geographic identity to the coin. Surrounding the central image are branches of the live oak tree, the state tree of Georgia, which represents strength and endurance. At the bottom of the design, a banner displays Georgia's state motto, Wisdom, Justice, Moderation. This detailed design was created by T. James Farrell, who skillfully combined state symbols and slogans to reflect Georgia's values and natural beauty. The top of the coin reads Georgia 1788, marking the year Georgia ratified the U.S. Constitution and officially became the fourth state. Like all state quarters, it also includes the phrases E Pluribus Unum and the year of release, 1999. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. This side includes the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. The obverse remained mostly unchanged throughout the entire state quarters program, while the reverse changed, to honor each of the 50 states. In terms of mintage, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter was produced in very large numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 451 million coins, and the Denver Mint produced about 488 million. With a total mintage exceeding 939 million coins, the Georgia Quarter is extremely common in circulated condition. As a result, most circulated examples you find in pocket change are worth just face value, 25 cents. However, the value goes up when it comes to uncirculated and high-grade examples. A 1999 Georgia Quarter in mint state condition, graded MS 65 or higher, can be worth $1 to $5. Coins graded MS 67 or higher can be worth $10 to $30, and in some cases even more if they are especially well struck or have exceptional eye appeal. Certified coins in near-perfect condition, particularly those from early die states with no scratches or marks, can bring higher premiums from collectors. There are also special collector versions of the Georgia State Quarter that were not released for circulation. These include the 1999 S-Proof coins, which were made at the San Francisco Mint using polished dies and planchets. The standard clad proof version, which features a brilliant mirror-like finish, typically sells for around $2 to $4. Meanwhile, the 90% silver-proof version is more valuable, often worth between $10 and $15 depending on silver prices and overall condition. Though the Georgia Quarter is not known for major error varieties, minor minting errors have been reported. These include off-center strikes, die cracks, and weak strikes. Quarters with clear and unusual errors can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s depending on the type and visibility of the mistake. As always, the value of error coins is heavily dependent on demand and the uniqueness of the flaw. Next up, the 1999 Delaware State Quarter holds the distinction of being the very first coin released in the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. Officially released on March 10, 1999, this quarter marked the start of one of the most successful coin-collecting programs in American history. It not only celebrates Delaware's unique place in the nation's story, but also sparked a nationwide interest in collecting coins. The reverse design of the Delaware Quarter pays tribute to the state's proud history as the first to ratify the U.S. Constitution on December 7, 1787. The design features the iconic image of Caesar Rodney on horseback. Rodney was a key figure in Delaware's revolutionary history, famous for his dramatic overnight ride to Philadelphia to cast Delaware's deciding vote for independence in 1776. The horse and rider symbolize courage, determination, and Delaware's vital role in the birth of the United States. The coin also includes the inscription, "The First State," highlighting Delaware's status as the very first state to join the Union. Above the rider, the word Delaware appears along with the founding year, 1787. The bottom of the coin carries the motto, Liberty and Independence, reinforcing Delaware's commitment to freedom and self-governance. On the obverse, like all the state quarters, is the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This side of the coin also carries the standard inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination $quarter. The obverse design remained consistent throughout the entire 50-state quarters series, while the reverse changed to celebrate each individual state. In terms of production, the Delaware Quarter had a relatively high mintage. The Philadelphia Mint produced roughly 383 million coins, and the Denver Mint struck approximately 398 million. Because of these large numbers, most Delaware quarters found in circulation are common and typically worth their face value of 25 cents. However, the coin's value can increase if it is in excellent condition. Uncirculated Delaware quarters graded MS-65 or higher can be worth between $1 and $5. Coins graded MS-67 or above, especially those certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch prices ranging from $10 to $40 or more. The exact value depends on the coin's condition, luster, and any signs of wear. Collectors also prize special proof versions of the Delaware quarter. These were minted at the San Francisco Mint and feature a highly polished, mirror-like finish. The standard clad proof coin typically sells for $2 to $5, while the 90% silver proof version can be valued at $10 to $20, depending on current silver prices and demand. Though the Delaware quarter doesn't have many widely recognized error coins, some collectors seek out minor minting errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, or doubled dies. Such errors are quite rare and can command premiums, sometimes fetching $50 or more, depending on their uniqueness and condition. The 1999 Delaware State Quarter is more than just a piece of currency. It represents a pivotal moment in American history and the start of a program that brought the stories of each state into the hands of millions of Americans. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, this quarter is a cherished symbol of Delaware's pioneering spirit and its important place in the nation's founding. If you have a 1999 Delaware quarter, examine it carefully. While most are common, coins in pristine condition or with unique errors can be worth much more. It's a wonderful reminder of how everyday coins can tell extraordinary stories.
2002 Ohio State Quarter is one of the most historically rich coins in the U.S. 50 State Quarters program. Released as the 17th quarter in the series, it was officially issued on March 11, 2002. This coin pays tribute to Ohio's profound contributions to aviation and its status as the birthplace of numerous pioneers who changed the course of American history. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see a detailed design featuring an early astronaut in a spacesuit, a vintage biplane, and the outline of the state of Ohio in the background. The inscription reads, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers." This powerful phrase honors not only the Wright brothers, who built and flew the world's first successful powered aircraft, but also astronauts like John Glenn and Neil Armstrong, both natives of Ohio. This design was created by artist Donna Weaver and engraved by John Mercanti, one of the most respected sculptor engravers in U.S. mint history. The coin was minted in three main versions. The Philadelphia Mint issued the 2002P, the Denver Mint struck the 2002D, and the San Francisco Mint produced both the 2002S proof coins in clad and 90% silver. Each version of the coin had different mintage figures and varying levels of collector demand. In terms of mintage numbers, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 217 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 414 million coins. The proof coins were minted in far smaller numbers, with about 3 million clad proofs and just over 892,000 silver proofs. These proof coins were specially made for collectors, featuring sharp details and mirror-like finishes. As for coin values, most circulated 2002 Ohio quarters from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint are still worth just face value 25 cents unless they are in pristine uncirculated condition. However, uncirculated versions in high mint state, particularly those graded MS-66 or MS-67, can sell for $5 to $20. Coins graded MS-68 or higher are very rare and can command prices upwards of $100 depending on the market and demand. The 2002S proof versions have higher collector value due to their limited mintage and superior quality. A clad proof coin is typically worth between $2 and $5, while the 90% silver proof quarter can be worth $10 to $20 or more, depending on the silver market and coin condition. There are also a few notable errors and varieties collectors look out for. Some 2002 Ohio quarters show doubling on the lettering or devices due to a minor double die error, although these are not common. Any major strike-through errors, off-center, strikes, or die cracks found on this coin can make it worth significantly more. High-grade errors can sell for $100 or even several $100s to the right buyer. Collectors prize the 2002 Ohio State Quarter not only for its design and symbolism, but also because of the state's iconic place in American aviation history. Ohio is uniquely important, being home to both the inventors of flight and the heroes of space exploration. This deep historical connection gives the coin a timeless appeal, making it a must-have for anyone building a complete state quarter set or simply honoring the legacy of American innovation. In summary, while the 2002 Ohio State Quarter may still be common in circulation, select versions and grades of this coin are definitely worth more than face value. Uncirculated and proof coins, especially those in top condition or struck in silver, continue to attract collectors and investors alike. So whether you're digging through change or browsing coin shows, keep your eyes open. The Ohio quarter might just be the highlight of your collection. Next up, the 2007 Idaho State Quarter is one of the final releases in the popular 50 State Quarters program. It was the 43rd coin issued in the series and officially entered circulation on June 4, 2007. This quarter honors the state of Idaho and highlights its natural beauty and rich wildlife. The design on the reverse of the coin features the peregrine falcon, a bird once endangered, but now restored thanks to conservation efforts. The bird is shown in flight, wings stretched wide, with detailed feathers and sharp talons. Behind it is the outline of the state of Idaho, and inside the outline is the state motto, Esto Perpetua, a Latin phrase meaning let it be perpetual. This phrase reflects Idaho's vision for enduring natural beauty and state pride. The design was created by artist Don Everhart, who crafted a strong image that captures both the power of nature and the identity of Idaho. The obverse of the coin carries the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and updated slightly for the State Quarters series. The coin was struck at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 2007P Idaho Quarter. The Denver Mint released the 2007D version, and the San Francisco Mint issued the 2007S proof. Coins in both clad and 90% silver varieties. In terms of mintage, the 2007P Idaho Quarter had over 286 million coins struck, while the 2007D had more than 263 million. The proof versions had significantly lower mintages. The clad proof had about 2.8 million coins minted, and the silver proof version had just under 1.3 million, making those two more desirable to collectors. As far as value goes, most circulated Idaho State Quarters from either Philadelphia or Denver are still worth face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated coins in mint state grades like Ms. 65 or Ms. 66 can be worth between $1 and $5. If the coin is graded higher, such as Ms. 67 or Ms. 68, the value can increase significantly. Some high-grade examples have sold for over $50, especially if they are certified by a top grading service like PCGs or NGC. The proof versions carry a higher premium. A clad 2007S Idaho Proof Quarter typically sells for $3 to $5, depending on condition. The 90% silver version is more valuable because of its metal content and superior strike, usually worth $10 to $20, or even more if graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo. While no major errors were widely reported for the Idaho Quarter, collectors still search for rare varieties such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double die, obverse or reverse errors. If any of these are found and authenticated, they can bring much higher prices from collectors who specialize in error coins. Overall, the 2007 Idaho State Quarter is a beautiful example of modern U.S. coin design. Its strong, bold depiction of the peregrine falcon captures the spirit of Idaho's wild landscapes and successful conservation efforts. It's a coin that appeals not only to residents of the state, but to bird lovers, nature enthusiasts, and coin collectors around the country. Whether you're looking through pocket change, building a complete 50 state quarters collection, or investing in high-grade examples, the Idaho State Quarter is a worthy addition to any coin collection. And who knows, a rare mint error or pristine proof version might just make it even more valuable. Next up, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter is one of the most iconic and beautiful designs in the 50 State Quarters program. It was the fifth and final state quarter released in the year 1999, and it honors the rich history and natural beauty of the state of Connecticut. Officially released on October 12, 1999, this quarter captures a powerful symbol of American independence, the Charter Oak. The reverse of the coin features an intricate engraving of the famous oak tree, which is a legendary part of Connecticut's colonial history. According to tradition, in 1687, Connecticut colonists hid their royal charter inside this tree to prevent its seizure by British authorities. This act of defiance became a proud symbol of the state's commitment to freedom and self-governance. The coin's design was created by artist T. James Farrell, who masterfully illustrated the massive, twisting branches of the charter oak with incredible detail and depth. On the obverse side of the coin is the familiar profile of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932 and slightly modified for the State Quarter series. The coin was struck at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1999P and 1999D versions were made for general circulation, while the 1999S proof coins were produced exclusively for collectors in both clad and 90% silver varieties. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 688 million Connecticut quarters, while the Denver Mint produced more than 657 million. Combined, that's over 1.3 billion coins, making it one of the most heavily produced state quarters. The San Francisco Mint created around 3.6 million clad proof coins, and just over 800,000 silver proof coins. Despite its high mintage, the 1999 Connecticut Quarter holds collector interest due to its beautiful design, historical significance, and a few notable varieties and errors. Most circulated versions of the Connecticut Quarter from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint are still worth face value 25 cents if they are worn or in average condition. However, uncirculated coins in mint state condition, especially those graded Ms. 65 or higher, can be worth between $1 and $10. Coins graded Ms. 67 or Ms. 68 can sell for $50 to over $100 depending on demand and quality. The proof coins, especially the silver versions, are more valuable. A 1999S clad proof Connecticut Quarter in pristine condition is typically worth around $3 to $5. The 1999S silver proof, due to its precious metal content and low mintage, can fetch $10 to $20 or more, and if graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo, it may command even higher prices from serious collectors. There are also some known errors associated with the Connecticut Quarter. These include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and occasionally double die obverse or reverse errors. While rare, these error coins can sell for $50 to several $100s depending on the severity and clarity of the mistake. One particularly interesting aspect of the 1999 Connecticut Quarter is that it was the final release of the first year of the State Quarters program, making it a milestone in the series. It also marks the transition from the older coin designs to a new era of creativity and state pride in American coinage. Collectors often seek to complete full sets of 1999 State Quarters, and high-quality examples of the Connecticut coin are essential to any complete collection. Next up, the 2003 Arkansas State Quarter is one of the most symbolically rich coins in the entire 50 State Quarters program. It was the 25th quarter released in the series, landing exactly halfway through the program. Officially issued on October 20, 2003, This quarter celebrates the natural beauty and cultural heritage of Arkansas, often called the natural state. The reverse design is a beautifully composed scene that features a diamond, a mallard duck, flying above a lake, and a background of towering pine trees. Each of these elements represents something significant about Arkansas. The diamond honors Crater of Diamonds State Park, the only diamond-producing site in the world open to the public, where visitors can search for real diamonds. The mallard duck symbolizes the state's abundant wildlife and outdoor recreational culture, especially in places like the Arkansas Delta and the Mississippi Flyway. The pine trees reflect the state's vast forests, which play an important role in its economy and identity. The design was created by artist John Mercanti, a master engraver who brought together these powerful elements to tell Arkansas's story through a single image. On the obverse of the coin is the traditional portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan and slightly modified for the State Quarters series. The coin was minted at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Circulation strikes were produced in Philadelphia and Denver, while the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins in both clad and 90% silver. For collectors, in terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint released approximately 229 million Arkansas quarters, and the Denver Mint struck about 228 million. These high mintage figures mean that the Arkansas quarter is very common in circulation. The San Francisco Mint produced roughly 3.1 million clad proof coins, and just over 1.1 million silver proof coins, both of which were sold in collector sets. When it comes to value, most circulated Arkansas quarters from either Philadelphia or Denver are still worth just face value 25 cents, due to their high availability. However, uncirculated examples in high grades can be worth more. Coins graded Ms. 65 usually sell for $1 to $3, while Ms. 66 and Ms. 67 examples can command $10 to $25 or even higher, depending on market demand. The rarest and highest graded coins, such as Ms. 68, can fetch $50 or more at auction, especially if certified by PCGs or NGC. The proof versions have a higher value, especially in top condition. A 2003S clad proof Arkansas quarter typically sells for around $3 to $5. The 90% silver proof version, which contains about 0.18 troy ounces of silver, is more valuable due to both its silver content and low mintage. These silver proofs can range in value from $10 to $20, or more if graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo. There are a few minor errors and varieties known for the 2003 Arkansas quarter, such as die cracks, struck through grease errors, and off-center strikes. While not common, these errors can increase the coin's value significantly. A dramatic error or mint mistake on a high-grade coin can sell for hundreds of dollars, especially if authenticated by a reputable grading service. Although it may not be the rarest coin in the State Quarter series, the 2003 Arkansas State Quarter is one of the most visually balanced and meaningful designs. It blends the state's natural resources, wildlife, and gemstone fame into one harmonious image. It represents a deep connection to land, history, and the outdoors, all things that Arkansans hold dear. This coin continues to be a favorite among collectors who admire its artistry and the story it tells.
1976 Bicentennial Washington Quarter. This special $quarter coin holds a significant place in both numismatic and patriotic circles. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned enthusiast, this video will provide you with a full and clean look at the history, design, and value of the bicentennial quarter, including rare, varieties, and valuable errors to look out for. Let's start by understanding why this coin exists. The 1776-1976 bicentennial quarter was released to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was authorized by Congress and produced by the United States Mint as part of the bicentennial celebration, which included redesigns of the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. These special coins were issued in 1975 and 1976, but they all bear the dual date of 1776-1976. No quarters dated 1975 were ever produced. All quarters made during those 2 years carry the bicentennial design. Now, let's talk about the design. The obverse of the bicentennial quarter still features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932. However, the date underneath Washington is replaced with a dual date, 1776-1976. The reverse is where the real magic happens. Instead of the traditional eagle, the reverse features a colonial drummer boy standing proudly with a drum while a torch of victory is seen in the background. This special design was created by Jack L. R. and was selected from a nationwide competition held by the U.S. Mint. 13 stars surround the drummer, representing the original 13 colonies. When it comes to composition, most bicentennial quarters were made for circulation using a copper-nickel-clad composition, that is, layers of copper and nickel over a copper core. However, there were also special collector's versions struck in a 40% silver composition. These were sold in proof and uncirculated sets and were never released for general circulation. You can easily distinguish a silver version by its weight and edge color. Silver quarters will have a more solid silver edge without the copper stripe. Now let's get into the mint marks and varieties. Bicentennial quarters were produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. Circulating quarters from Philadelphia and Denver are the most common. San Francisco produced both clad proof coins and the 40% silver collector coins. As for value, most circulated bicentennial quarters are still worth face value, 25 cents, especially those without any errors and in worn condition. However, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth more. A mint state bicentennial quarter graded MS65 can be worth around $5 to $10. If you have a high-grade example, say MS67 or higher, the value increases significantly. Some have sold for over $1,000, especially if graded by PCGS or NGC. Now let's talk about the silver versions. A 40% silver bicentennial quarter in uncirculated condition can be worth around $4 to $7, depending on silver spot price and condition. Proof silver quarters, especially deep cameo examples, can fetch higher premiums, usually between $8 and $15 or more. Complete silver proof sets from 1976 are also popular with collectors and can command values of $20 to $30 or more. But what about rare errors? These can be where the real value lies. Some notable errors to watch for include double die obverse and reverse varieties, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. Double die examples, where the design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process, are highly sought after. These can fetch anywhere from $100 to over $1,000, depending on the severity and the coin's condition. Off-center strikes that are dramatic, where part of the design is missing, can sell for $50 or more. And coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime or foreign coin planchet, can reach hundreds of dollars. So how do you know if your bicentennial quarter is valuable? Start by checking the mint mark. If it's an S, it might be a silver proof. Weighing the coin can help. Clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, while 40% silver quarters weigh around 5.75 grams. Next, examine the condition. Coins with no wear, original luster, and strong strikes are more valuable. Finally, look closely for any signs of doubling, misstrikes, or other odd features that might indicate an error or variety. In conclusion, while the average 1776-1976 bicentennial quarter may not be a retirement fund, there are absolutely gems out there that hold significant collector value. The coin itself is a beautiful reminder of American independence and a unique period in U.S. mint history. Whether you find one in your pocket change or inherit a proof set from a family member, it's worth taking a closer look. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin collecting facts and values. Let us know in the comments if you found a rare bicentennial quarter, or if there's another coin you'd like us to cover next. See you in the next video and happy collecting!
Let's kick things off with the coin that nearly every American has seen, but almost no one knows could be worth a small fortune even in bad shape. We're talking about the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter, that iconic piece of U.S. history minted to celebrate America's 200th birthday. Now, maybe you've got one of these lying around. They're easy to spot. Instead of the usual eagle on the reverse, this coin proudly features a colonial drummer, standing tall, a torch of victory to his left, and stars encircling him like a celebration frozen in metal. But here's the part that'll make you look twice. Most bicentennial quarters in circulated or bad condition. Sure, they're common, worth 25 cents, maybe 50 if you're lucky. But what if I told you that a few of these, yes, even in rough condition, have shocked collectors by selling for thousands? One example, with heavy wear but a double die obverse, that's a rare error where Washington's face and the word Liberty look slightly doubled, sold at auction for over $4,500, despite being visibly circulated. Why? Because error. Collectors don't care about shininess. They care about rarity. And it gets even wilder. There are bicentennial quarters that were accidentally struck on silver planchets, coin blanks meant for $50, or on experimental planchets. These rare anomalies can look just like a worn-out coin, but under the surface, they're hiding value. One of these oddities, found in a handful of pocket change and nearly thrown away, ended up selling for $19,200. Now imagine that old, dingy coin in your drawer might be one of just a few known to exist. There's even a 1776 to 1976 quarter graded as an off-center strike with the triple die reverse, discovered in a junk box, that hit auction floors for over $42,000. In fact, auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers have seen consistent upward momentum on error bicentennial coins, and collectors are willing to pay insane premiums. So, how can you tell if your bicentennial quarter is more than just pocket change? Look closely, even if it's scratched, even if it's dull. Is there doubling in the lettering or in George Washington's profile? Does the drummer's hat or drum show signs of doubling or misalignment? Does the edge of the coin look slightly miscut or off-center? You don't need to be a professional. All you need is a simple magnifying glass and a sharp eye. And one more thing, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can instantly reduce its value by 90%. Collectors want originality, not shine. So next time you find a 1776 to 1976 quarter that looks bad, don't toss it aside. It might just be the ugly duckling that turns into a six-figure swan. And we're just getting started. The next coin on this list, it comes from the very beginning of the state quarter series, and one rare error version recently caused a bidding war that stunned even veteran collectors. But before we get there, if you're enjoying the thrill of this coin hunt and want more tips on how to spot hidden treasures in your change, make sure to subscribe to Worth Coin right now. You do not want to miss what's coming next. Next up now, let's talk about a coin that marked the very beginning of one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. mint history, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. You might think it's just another pretty coin from the State Quarter series, but this one hides secrets. At first glance, it's elegant and timeless. The reverse side proudly displays the charter oak, that legendary tree that once hid Connecticut's royal charter from British troops. It's more than just a tree, the symbol of rebellion, independence, and American grit. But beneath that patriotic design lies something far more thrilling. Most people think their 1999 Connecticut quarter is only worth 25 cents, maybe a buck or two in good shape. And in most cases, they're right. But there's a handful of error coins out there, rare, almost mythical, and worth thousands even in fine condition. Here's where it gets interesting. In 1999, the U.S. Mint used new technology and new dies to roll out the state quarters. But with new equipment came new problems, and that's exactly where the gold is. Some Connecticut quarters from the Philadelphia Mint were struck on experimental planchets blanks that weren't intended for quarters at all. A few were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or prototype blanks. These can appear slightly yellow, weigh differently, or even sound different when dropped on a surface. One of these experimental errors. It sold for over $12,000, and it wasn't even in perfect condition. Just fine grade, lightly worn. But that rare planchet made all the difference. Another Connecticut quarter had a dramatic die crack running straight through the charter oak. To the untrained eye, it looked like just a scratch. But to collectors, that was a mint-caused error, a one-of-a-kind flaw, and it brought in $4,800 at auction. Now, the Holy Grail? A 1999 Connecticut quarter struck 50% off-center, still showing partial details from the neighboring state quarter die. Only two are known to exist. One of them sold for a shocking $45,000. That's right, 45 grand for a quarter someone almost spent at the grocery store. So how do you spot one of these valuable Connecticut quarters in fine condition? First, weigh it. If it's significantly under or over the standard 5.67 grams, you might have a rare planchet. Next, check the edges and lettering. Look for misalignments, off-center strikes, doubling in the word Connecticut, or unusual colors or textures in the metal. And don't forget to inspect the charter oak itself. Many valuable errors involve die chips that make the branches appear thicker or disconnected, and these seemingly minor flaws can mean major money. Remember, condition isn't everything. Even a fine grade coin, some scratches somewhere, average looking, can become a collector's dream if it has the right error. So before you spend that Connecticut quarter at the gas station, give it a second look. You just might be holding a rare strike worth more than most people's cars. And the hunt continues, because coming up next, we've got another 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter. But this time, it's in uncirculated condition, and what it sold for might just break your brain. But before we reveal that, if you've made it this far, and your heart's racing just like mine, don't forget to subscribe to Worth Coin and hit the notification bell so you never miss these hidden treasure reveals. Who knows? The next coin might be in your pocket. Have you ever held a coin that feels like a time machine in your hands? One that doesn't just shimmer with silver but also captures the fiery spirit of America's 200th birthday? Welcome to the story of the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, a coin born to celebrate 2 centuries of American independence, but also a piece of history many people overlook in their change jars. What if I told you one of these coins, forgotten in an old drawer, could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? And what if you could tell if yours is a rare treasure just by looking at a few key details? The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Americans were in mourning, and the Treasury rushed to honor his legacy with a new coin featuring his profile. It quickly became a beloved symbol of hope and unity during a difficult time. Fast forward to 1976, when the United States celebrated its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and the Mint prepared something special. A Kennedy half dollar with dual dates, 1776-1976, on the obverse, replacing the usual single date. It was more than a coin. It was a birthday gift to an entire nation. The reverse design is what truly sets this bicentennial half apart. Instead of the standard presidential seal, the coin features Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very place where the Declaration of Independence was debated and signed. The words United States of America and half dollar frame the historic building, while the motto 200 Years of Freedom proclaims a sense of pride unique to this special year. The artistry was created by Seth G. Huntington, who perfectly captured the building's colonial charm and significance. When you turn this coin in the light, you can see every line of the bricks, every pane of glass, a miniature monument to American perseverance. But what makes these coins truly Fascinating for collectors and treasure hunters are the details most people never notice. Bicentennial Kennedy halves were struck in 3 versions. First, a copper nickel-clad version for circulation. Second, a 40% silver-clad version sold in special collector sets. And third, proofs in both copper nickel and 40% silver. Most people have only seen the copper nickel pieces. Millions of them were released into circulation, where they were quickly hoarded as souvenirs. But the silver versions, especially those in pristine proof condition, can reach shocking values. One gleaming 40% silver proof recently sold for over $15,000 at auction, simply because it was nearly perfect under high magnification, and that's not even the rarest possibility. Some 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollars show dramatic mint errors, like double strikes, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine finding a coin meant to be a Kennedy half, but struck on a quarter planchet, the design cut off, words missing, and the edges incomplete. These errors can send values soaring past $35,000 or more. A recent off-center bicentennial Kennedy sold privately for over $28,000, a life-changing amount for a coin you could pull from pocket change. Condition is everything. The highest values go to coins graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC in grades Ms. 67 or higher, meaning they have virtually no marks, perfect luster, and razor-sharp details. But even a circulated bicentennial Kennedy can carry premium value if it has unusual toning, those rainbow-colored surfaces caused by years of chemical reactions which collectors adore. Some examples with vibrant blue and purple toning have crossed the $5,000 mark, simply because they're so unique. But it's not just errors in silver versions that hold value. There are die varieties, including doubled dies where the lettering or parts of the design appear to have shadows. These doubled die obverses or reverses are extremely scarce, with only a handful known, and collectors are willing to pay nearly $50,000 for a pristine example. So always check the words "In God We Trust" and the dual dates under magnification for any signs of doubling. It could mean you're holding a fortune in your palm. The bicentennial Kennedy half dollar holds a special place in American hearts. Even in 1976, many families tucked these coins away as keepsakes from a historic year. Veterans carried them home from overseas tours. Parents gave them to children as a symbol of America's freedom. Grandparents slipped them into birthday cards. And yet, despite millions being saved, only a tiny fraction survive today in gem condition, making them rare, exciting targets for collectors who want to own a shining piece of the American bicentennial. But what does a typical bicentennial Kennedy half go for? Most circulated copper nickel examples sell for 50 cents to a few dollars. But the story changes completely for coins in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition, especially the silver versions. A pristine 40% silver uncirculated bicentennial half graded Ms. 67 recently sold at auction for over $12,000, while a flawless silver proof graded par 70 decam, the highest grade possible, fetched more than $22,000, stunning everyone in the room. What really drives the value is a combination of condition, rarity, and collector demand. Many baby boomers, who were kids or teens during the bicentennial, now collect these coins for nostalgia, driving prices higher every year. As these collectors grow older, the coins become more cherished, and high-end examples are scooped up by investors looking for secure, tangible assets that also carry historical significance. Experts predict values will continue rising for top-graded bicentennial Kennedys, especially for coins with CAC stickers, small holographic badges indicating a coin is among the best of its grade. Beyond the design and value, there's the emotional power of this coin. Holding a bicentennial Kennedy half is like feeling the pulse of 1976, the excitement of a nation celebrating 200 years of independence, fireworks lighting up summer skies, and Americans from every background coming together. It's a coin that bridges generations and reminds us how far the country has come. Every scratch, Every nick tells a story. From hands at gas stations during the oil crisis to kids who saved them in piggy banks, dreaming of the future. It tells a powerful story about America's innovation, its pioneers, and the spirit of exploration. Let's begin this incredible journey. The 2002 Ohio State Quarter was the 17th coin released in the 50 State Quarters program, a series that began in 1999 and captured the imagination of collectors and the general public alike. This program aimed to honor each state with a unique design that reflects its heritage, symbols, and contributions to the nation. Ohio, admitted as the 17th state into the Union in 1803, was honored in 2002, and its quarter design pays tribute to its proud history of aviation and space exploration. The coin's reverse features the iconic image of an astronaut superimposed on the outline of the state of Ohio. Next to the astronaut is a vintage biplane, the Wright Flyer, symbolizing the pioneering achievements of the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, who were born and raised in Ohio and are credited with inventing and building the world's first successful powered airplane. Above these images is the phrase, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers," a proud declaration of the state's contribution to aviation history. The astronaut represents another of Ohio's remarkable contributions to human achievement, the state's role in space exploration. Ohio has produced no fewer than 24 astronauts, including legends like John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth, and Neil Armstrong, the first human to set foot on the moon. This design not only celebrates Ohio's past, but also its continuing legacy in pushing the boundaries of human potential. The designer of the Ohio Quarter was Donna Weaver, an accomplished sculptor and engraver with the U.S. Mint. Her artwork captured both the technical beauty and the human determination behind these achievements. The obverse of the coin, like all coins in the series, features the familiar profile of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan, with inscriptions of United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. This continuity ties all the state quarters together, while the unique reverses showcase the individual stories of each state. In terms of mintage, the Ohio State Quarter was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 217 million of these coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 414 million. These high mintage numbers reflect the immense popularity of the program and the widespread circulation of these coins. Additionally, proof versions were minted at the San Francisco Mint for collectors, including both clad proofs and silver proofs. These proof coins feature sharp details and mirror-like finishes, making them highly desirable for collectors seeking pristine examples of each design. The Ohio Quarter, like other state quarters, was released not just to honor history, but to ignite a passion for coin collecting among the public. Millions of Americans, young and old, eagerly searched their pocket change, hoping to assemble a complete set of state quarters. For many, these coins were their introduction to the world of numismatics, sparking a lifelong interest in coins, history, and art. Now, let's explore the values associated with the Ohio 2002 quarter. In general circulation, most Ohio quarters are worth face value, or 25 cents. Because they were produced in such large quantities, circulated examples are common. However, coins in uncirculated condition, especially those with brilliant luster and no wear, can fetch a premium among collectors. Uncirculated coins from the Philadelphia or Denver Mint might sell for between 50 cents and $2, depending on their quality. Higher grade examples certified by professional grading services, such as coins graded Ms. 67 or better, can command even higher prices, sometimes exceeding $10 or $20, and in rare cases, more. Proof coins, particularly the silver proofs, are especially popular among collectors. A clad proof might be worth around $3 to $5, while silver proofs can sell for $10 to $15 or more, depending on their condition and the demand among collectors. One of the most exciting aspects of the Ohio quarter for collectors is the possibility of finding rare errors and varieties. Error coins are highly sought after because they represent anomalies in the minting process and are often one of a kind, or produced in very small quantities. Some known errors associated with the Ohio quarter include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a double die error on the reverse might cause parts of the design, such as the biplane or the lettering, to appear doubled or distorted. These errors can significantly increase a coin's value, with prices ranging from $50 to several $100s or more, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Collectors are always on the lookout for these unusual pieces, as they add excitement and rarity to their collections. In addition to errors, some collectors focus on finding Ohio quarters with exceptional eye appeal, such as coins with vibrant toning, strong strikes, and minimal contact marks. These premium examples can stand out in any collection and may be worth a substantial premium over common uncirculated coins. It's important for collectors to handle their coins with care, using gloves or holding coins by the edge to avoid fingerprints and other damage. Proper storage in protective holders or albums can help preserve the condition of these coins for future generations. The Ohio State Quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It's a miniature work of art and a symbol of American achievement. It reminds us of the spirit of invention that led the Wright brothers to take to the skies, and the courage that propelled astronauts like John Glenn and Neil Armstrong beyond the Earth's atmosphere. It connects us to a proud history of exploration and discovery, and for collectors, it offers a tangible link to that inspiring legacy. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who enjoys searching through pocket change, the Ohio Quarter has something to offer. It's a reminder of how ordinary objects can carry extraordinary stories, and of how history can live in the palm of your hand. And who knows, the next Ohio quarter you find might just be an uncirculated gem, a rare error, or a silver proof that adds something special to your collection. So keep looking, keep learning, and keep collecting, because the next great discovery could be just a coin away. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the 2002 Ohio State Quarter. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Worth Coin, and click the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to learn more about the fascinating world of coin collecting. And let us know in the comments, have you found an Ohio quarter in your change? Do you have any with interesting errors or exceptional quality? We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin be a treasure.